verdict. 4 arms and only 1 usable hand. Ah!
Hey! Stop whining! Hello everyone and welcome to the recent review. Today we're looking over set number 70792, Skull Slicer. The set contains approximately 71 pieces, was released in summer of 2015, and the time of release was approximately $15. Alright, so now we've gotten introductions out of the way, let's get the review underway. Disclaimer of course, just because a pro or con or any of the following is said here, don't immediately assume it is my personal opinion. Unless I explicitly state it, please assume that all opinions and or observations are objective, which is my intention. That good? Everyone got that down? Alright, great. In that case, let's get on with the review. Starting off with everyone's least favorite part, the box. Here we have a box. You can see Skull Slicer. He's got a mask. There's some arms. Or hands. Don't eat the pieces. How many times do they have to tell you? How many times do I have to tell you? Back of the box, functions, masks, comics, warnings, over the head and back of the room. Alright, so here we have Skull Slicer and the accompanying mask that I just found. So let's get this thing underway and look at the set. Right off the bat, we've got a nice new recolored mask that we will get into later, but more primarily, we have Skull Slicer. Now, Skull Slicer, on the plus side, features all the standard points of articulation, plus a bunch. He's got the standard in the legs, which equal out to about 3, and then we have 3 in each arm, which equal out to 4 arms, so lots. Now, Skull Slicer is actually pretty good as far. They're generally received as being pretty good as far as his general color scheme is concerned. The new recolors, specifically this piece there, the new piece there in this color, which I believe is commonly referred to as apple green, however I just like to call it that, generally well received. Everyone likes this color scheme. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of people like the orange paired along with it, specifically the asymmetry. Most notable here in his upper right arm, which is going to show up on the left. Now, to a degree, many people believe this is mitigated because of the new armor piece. However, to that same degree, it's still quite obvious and apparent. So not a whole lot of folks like that color arrangement. And the red on his new printing does not necessarily help either. As far as functions are concerned, Skull Slicer obviously primarily has 2. Now, the most obvious of these 2 is his gear function. You turn this gear on his back, and his arms will swing, all 4 of them. The only issue that many have noted is that only one arm is not in alignment, and that would be the top left, which is going to be on your right. Now, a lot of people believe that this gives him a very awkward look, and to a degree, that's generally the assumption. They feel like it gives Skull Slicer a pelvic thrusting motion, and a lot of people find that to be very awkward. Granted, other folks find this set to be great in regards to its construction, specifically the fact that someone managed to pull off 4 arms moving on this gearbox. Shouldn't be too hard to imagine, but I guess it is. So a lot of people do definitely like that, and that's generally regarded as a great pro for this set. However, on the flip side, not a lot of people like its construction. Now, if you like CCBS, the creature, character, and building system, you're going to like this set generally because it's a great parts pack. It's got a lot on it that will lend itself to creations and my own creations and mocks and what have you. However, a lot of folks do not like the fact that it is very bare bones, forgive the pun. Skull Slicer does not have a whole lot of armor on him. Specifically, 2 armor pieces in total, here and here. On his arms and legs, he doesn't really have anything. Now, some would argue that this is for the whole skull theme. He's supposed to be bare bones, they may say. But others would counter that despite that, he should still have some armor. It would make him look better. We actually have armor in this size, in this color. So many do not believe that this is a valid excuse. In regards to functions, real fast, the other function is, of course, the Skull Spider mask. You push down on his newly recolored eye stalk, and it should, there we go, fly off. Now this is just a standard silver Skull Spider mask, nothing really spectacular. A lot of people are actually fairly disappointed that that was the case. So, what have you. People may not like that. In regards to stability, he's actually not very stable. Not his build, of course. His build is incredibly stable. However, he's very top-heavy. Very easy to make him fall over. Now, while 4-armed characters are generally cooler to pose, this guy suffers from tiny feet ptosis. Really, he does. He's got really small feet. Now, obviously, the designers tried to offset this by using these things here. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a very good job. He is still very difficult to get standing in a cool pose and not have to worry about a gust of wind at the window blowing him over. Obviously, my hand is a very strong gust of wind, but I digress. So, unfortunately, his stability is not one of his strong suits. What is, however, is his general overall look. He's very cool. He looks very imposing. 4 arms and 3 swords, technically. As you can see, he has 3 of the new sword design. See, there's that stability coming into play. He has 3 of the new sword design, so he's got, obviously, again, a lot of parts that are new. And that's a really good thing. Now, in regards to play function and playability, his feature, one of his advertised features, is this little thing here. And this is supposed to grab onto masks, more specifically this one. Now, how does it work? Well, basically like so. You just wrap this around there and bam. Mask on a stick. Come here, Toa. Come here, Toa. Oh, you can go fishing with this thing. That's awesome. But that is how it's supposed to work. Now, a lot of people do like this because when it works, and that's great. But on the flip side, not a lot of people do like it. There are, some that do, some that don't, and some that don't have some difficulty actually getting this thing to wrap around and hook on. Ideally, you just hook and go. But it does have the tendency to slip off, what have you. So don't leave it there. You will lose this if you leave it there. Now, as far as him interacting with other characters, we look no further than everyone's favorite, my favorite, Toa of Jungle, Liwa, who is his advertised opponent. You see it on the comic, you see it in animations, what have you. So we're going to go ahead and see how they square off. Liwa, obviously the best Toa, no competitors at all, versus Skull Slicer, whose name is very difficult to say. Fight! Well, we're off to a great start. So, obviously there we go, yeah. The gear functions work as advertised. You're not going to do a whole lot of damage unless you're, obviously doing it by yourself. You just do this. You need 2 hands for this. It's optimal. But what about the... Liwa? Ah, there's a spider. Okay. A fun fact, for those of you just joining us, I'm slightly arachnophobic. So anyway, how does this mask grabbing function work? Well, you have to manually take your hand, grab this, go, and go. Well, that was just the greatest. So clearly, if you do it improperly like that, it's not going to work out so well in your favor. You will not be winning any Hunger Games. So let's try it again. Come on. Come on. It does not help that Liwa has a really tiny neck. Alright, let's try that again. Here we go. Okay, that still didn't work. Alright, we're gonna try this one more time. Alright, lower this. Okay. Here we go. Operation Stealing a Mask. Come on, stand. Stand! My goodness. Fine. Okay. There we go. Finally, victory! Alright, so we now have the golden mask. Now, just for clarification's purposes, this is a slightly different gold. Now, it might have started out the original gold, but this one is a little bit more, I want to say, dirtied? I don't know if that's really the right word, but it is offset from this. It doesn't look like the pure gold that this is supposed to represent. So, also, you can go ahead and see it on Lewa there. Actually doesn't look half bad. Now, of course, clearly, like I said, the gold is not exactly like this gold, but it really works for him. Personal opinion, they really should have used this green on this set. I think that would have looked spectacular. And then, switching sides, you can see, yep, there we go, how it looks on him. Well, ain't no blue like the animations. So, that about sums it up. That has been my review of Skull Slicer. Thanks due in part to the community and their opinions and so on and so forth. This was a objective review. Want to see a subjective review by me? Go ahead and click right here to go see a written recent review with my subjective opinion on Skull Slicer. Right at home on TTV, the TTVpodcast.com. And if you want to see the build-up, go ahead and click right here, and so on and so forth. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and if there's anything I messed up on, or you feel I should have mentioned, please let me know in the comments below or on the TTV message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.